So now that you found your dream home, let's talk about property taxes, homeowners insurance, and homeownership cost and how that affects your monthly payment. So in a mortgage, whenever you get qualified, the process would be qualification, go shopping, find a home, go through the loan process. And then while you're going through the loan process, you're shopping for a lot of different things, right? You may have found this house, the realtor may have found you the house. However, they're emailing you the listing and it says, hey, this is how much your taxes are going to be. One thing that I want to point out is when they give that information to you, that information is actually declared by the listing agent, okay? That's the person that's actually listed the house, the real estate agent that listed the house. Sometimes it's off of property data, sometimes it's off of an online website, and sometimes it could be off of a mortgage statement, and sometimes it could just be off of what the homeowner has told the real estate agent to put in the listing. Now, it's really important that you understand what that cost is going to be because you don't want to be surprised at closing. And this happens every single time, right? We go through the process. I'm told by the real estate agent that the property taxes are $250 a month. At closing, it's $286 a month. Customers call me right away and saying, hey, why is my monthly payment different from what you told me? That's one of the things. Second thing is going to be homeowners insurance. When you're shopping for homeowners insurance, this shouldn't be the last thing that you do. It's the last thing that we need as a mortgage company to close your loan. However, this is definitely not one of those last things to do. And I'm going to tell you why. When you're shopping for homeowners insurance, it's just like when you're shopping for a mortgage, right? Do you go retail or do you go wholesale? And here's the difference. It's a lot easier to differentiate in the insurance industry because when you're going retail, you're going to, let's say, State Farm. You're going to Geico. They have a lot of advertising. Whereas if you go to a broker who's going to shop around for you and give you different prices and quotes and rates, they are doing all the hard work and then they're presenting you the best quote. So when you're comparing the quotes, you should definitely compare. You should compare often. You should compare early because once again, this is affecting your closing cost because when we close on a home in a mortgage, upfront, we take the 1-year premium and then we put a reserve for escrows, and that's a savings account for your taxes and insurance. So we collect maybe 3 to 6 months in that escrow account. Now, that affects the closing cost because of the amount that we collect upfront, and then it's going to affect your monthly payment in the back end. Now, let's dive into homeownership cost. Now, homeownership cost, there's a lot of things that you really need to factor for, okay? So when you get that mortgage, it's not just going to be your mortgage payment and that's it. You have to make sure that you don't have any homeowners association fees. Now, there are pros and cons to homeowners association fees. I live in a neighborhood that currently has a homeowners association fee. All of the houses in the neighborhood, the majority of them, I would say, are going to be well kept. There's not going to be a lot of like debris in the front yard. You know, when there's a lot of leaves out, you know, everyone's going to pretty much rake. The facade, the front part of the house is always going to look decent. I've had to paint my shutters recently and it was just a refresh, but now it makes the house look 1,000 times better. So having that homeowners association is definitely a plus. However, where it's a downside is that yes, you have that monthly payment and they may have some restrictions on what you can and cannot park in the driveway, what you can and cannot put up in the house. So maybe you wanted to put a shed or a detached storage system. You may not be able to do that when you're in a homeowners association. So that's definitely something that you need to keep in mind and know that if you have something to store like that, you may have that additional cost. Another thing is that you have to account for utilities like your electricity, your gas, your water bill, your trash bill. All of these things all go into your monthly budget. So when the loan officer is budgeting for you, you should always do your own budget. I was just pointing out that I've got a lot of books, right? You know, I've got a lot of books, I've got a lot of journals. And what I do every single day that really helps me out is I write down all my ideas on a sheet of paper. I call it mind dumping. It takes 5 minutes to do, and you'll have so much more productivity. So when you're going through the home buying process, it's a great idea to start dumping those ideas on a piece of paper. Let's say you're planning to call me and we're going to talk about your home buying process. At that point, I would say you mind dump everything, you put notes beside everything. While we're talking, you can make your own notes as to what we're talking about. And I find that extremely helpful because if you start documenting all these questions, a lot of times you can have everything answered. So by the time you get to the finish line, which is the closing table, and you're handed those keys, now you're like, hey, everything's answered. I know exactly what to expect, whether I'm a first-time home buyer or a 10th time home buyer. And finally, I would say home ownership cost. The major thing that you have to budget for is possible home repairs. Home repairs are huge. And what I mean by that is with the home repairs, you're sometimes going to have your AC system may have gone out. That's a big ticket item, right? That's a $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 item, depending on the type of like HVAC system you have. You may have a hot water heater that is busted, right? And at that point, when it busts, you consider, hey, do I want that regular water heater in there, or do I want to get a tankless? And then there's other factors such as electrical and everything else. Now, the way to really counteract all these, there's two ways. Number one is when you're shopping for that homeowner's insurance, you got to get mechanical breakdown. Mechanical breakdown is a very small fee that's added into that homeowner's insurance cost. However, if you have any major mechanical systems in your house that fail, you could get those replaced without it even affecting your insurance. So I recently had a customer that had 2 of her boilers break down in her older home, and it would have cost her $10,000 per boiler to replace. However, because she had mechanical breakdown, it was a $1,000 deductible and she got it all replaced. Another thing that we can use to make sure that everything's covered, and this would cover the smaller ones, right? Like I said, with the homeowner's insurance is mechanical breakdown. However, with the smaller items, I highly recommend a home warranty. We've had home warranties on almost every single property that we own, whether it be an investment property or a property that we live in. Good thing about the home warranty is that it does cover a lot of different components. So with this home warranty, I'll give you some really good examples of like what I've personally used it on. When we had our outdoor system replaced, I didn't go through the mechanical breakdown because it cost me less to go through the home warranty. The outside system would have cost me $5,000 to replace. I had a deductible with the home warranty, which was $100. And then with the additional parts that they were changing out, like the new pad, the new line set, the extra Freon, that only cost me a total of $400. So to go from a $400 out-of-pocket expense versus a $5,000 expense, that's a huge savings. That home warranty only cost me $500 a year. Same thing with my water heater. When that busted, I went to the local home improvement store. The same water heater would have cost $700, plus the plumber to come over and replace all the lines and the copper lines and everything. All out the door. I've had quotes from plumbers, $2,000. Home warranty cost, $100 deductible, no additional fees, and then plus that annual fee, totally made out like a champ. We're constantly using home warranty. I highly recommend it. So with that being said, there's a lot of things that you can do as a homeowner to lower the home ownership cost. And it's really good that you budget and you write down your thoughts and ideas every single day so you know what are the issues and what are the solutions for it, because there's always a better solution. However, if you have any questions or concerns, click the link below and give me a call. So now that we've unraveled the mysteries of property taxes, homeowners insurance, and home ownership cost, you can budget smarter for your dream home. So if you've learned anything, please give me a like down below. Comment down below if you have any additional questions. If you have any questions or concerns, click the link below, give us a call, and David's iMortgage Guy, I'm out.